Well, I think it's a fine line, as we all know, in kicking the football. And, there were different aspects on different kicks. So it wasn't all one particular item with Dan. It was one thing here, one thing in another game, and the cumulative effect of that is multiple misses. If it was one particular thing, we believe as coaches and as players, that's an easy correction. The wind, we all know that's something you got to deal with here in Buffalo. And we like to think of it as our own home field advantage. We are prepared for it. We're going to embrace it. We're going to love it. We're going to work in it. And we're going to use it to our advantage. As far as Steven goes, I was able to spend some time with Steven in Detroit in 2010. I had Jason Hansen, was our kicker. He was injured in training camp. We were able to bring Steven in. And when we had to release Steven as we got to the regular season, there was no doubt in my mind that Steven had the skills and the ability, the mental and physical makeup to be a successful kicker in this league. And here we are 7 years later, and we've seen again, it's straight up competition. He had really good season at the University of Idaho, can do a little bit of everything, which is really beneficial for us. His primary responsibility here is competing for the punting job, but having that ability to kick off, to kick field goals, to be able to take some of that pressure off of Steven as he gets up there in years is going to be outstanding. But his primary goal is to compete with Colton to be the punter or any other position here. Well, everybody's going to bring their own nuances to what they do. But to me, the nice thing right now about this staff, and again, it's early and we're building this thing going forward, but the backgrounds that the leadership group on this staff has is outstanding. With Rick Dennison as the offensive coordinator, being a former special teams coach, Leslie Frazier being a former head coach, Sean starting and working his way through and really getting a great grasp and seeing all the different avenues of, for me, how special teams can really affect a game. To have the leadership of those guys, is really outstanding because they're great sounding boards and they all bring that great background and knowledge of the whole team as opposed to just a particular phase. I'm fortunate that I'm still here with my third coaching staff and haven't had to move. And I'm fortunate that with this group going forward, we can get done what we're all hoping to get done for the great fans of the Buffalo Bills, to establish a long-term, sustained, successful run of playoff caliber football. So that transitions, it's always hard because you get close to people, your family gets close to people, but that's part of this business. It's the business we chose. But again, I'm just so happy to still be here with Sean, with Brandon, with the Pagulas, hoping to get this thing where we all have that idea of what it is and where we're trying to get to. I think yesterday is a great example. We punted yesterday, and having the ability of guys like Micah Hyde who has done the primary return player in poor conditions in Green Bay, to have a young rookie coming in like T. White, who had great production at LSU. The more guys you have that have that ability, based on the course of the game, if we'd have been playing a game yesterday, you'd have seen 2, maybe even 3 guys on the field as a punt return group based on situation, because they all have great abilities to be able to handle the pressure. They've done it in big games, and a lot of times they've done it in poor environments weather-wise.